welcome to the deep dive. If you love that big match feel, especially, football on the global stage, well, you're in the right spot today.
Hmm.
We're getting into a really decisive clash from the expanded FIFA Club World Cup happening over in the U.S. right now.
That's right.
Our focus, that intense game between Real Madrid and RB Salzburg at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and what we really want to do here is kind of peel back the layers, go beyond just that 3-0 scoreline.
Right.
We're going to look at the strategy, the players who really shone, and crucially, what this game actually means for both clubs. And, for global football generally is always changing.
Definitely. And we've looked at a whole range of stuff for this: detailed match reports, tactical analyses, player comments, stats.
Even fan reaction.
Exactly, even the raw fan reactions. Just to give you a really full picture, quick as we can.
Okay, so let's set the scene first. This wasn't like just another group game.
No.
Sources were calling it a virtual knockout match in Group H. Both Real Madrid and Salzburg came into it with 4 points.
But Madrid had the edge, right?
Yeah.
Goal difference.
Exactly. Just slightly better goal difference. But it meant the pressure psychologically was immense for both sides. It felt like an early final, really.
And the place itself, Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, huge NFL stadium.
Massive.
But they apparently turned it into this cauldron of global soccer fever. That's how it was described.
Yeah, and it wasn't your typical summer weather either. A bit of that Philly summer chill, some rain.
Gave it a different feel, almost European.
Yeah, kind of added a bit of an edge, something different.
But the real pre-match talk was about the missing players, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely. That was a big factor. Real Madrid, they were missing Carvajal, Alaba, and Marco Asensio was suspended.
Key guys.
Absolutely. And
Wow.
Salzburg had their own issues. Schlager and Kawamura were out. So you were left wondering how each team was going to adjust tactically.
Right. And for anyone who follows the betting side, well, the bookies had a pretty clear view.
Oh, yeah. Heavily favored Madrid. Minus 470. Minus 470 on the money line.
Compared to Salzburg at what, plus 1,000? Up
Yeah.
1,000?
Yeah, a huge gap. It really showed the perceived difference in quality, even with Salzburg always being, fighters.
So that perception, Madrid's strength, even with missing players, it came down to Xabi Alonso's tactics.
Seems like it. Sources pointed to what they called a Salzburg-style blueprint from Madrid, which is kind of ironic given who they were playing.
Yeah, fighting fire with fire.
Pretty much. It was about keeping the ball, quick transitions, clever movement, rotation, and they pressed hard right from the start, really went after Salzburg's young defense.
Okay, so Madrid adopted some of Salzburg's own ideas. How did Salzburg respond? They had a younger team out there, Glauc, Dorjlasnene.
Yeah, they weren't passive, that's for sure. They set up in a 4-2-2-2, and they really tried to use that youth and energy. They pressed Madrid high up the pitch.
Ambitious.
Very. Especially against Madrid. Glauc and Nene were key to that. They wanted to disrupt, not just sit back and defend.
But, well, that ambition ran into Madrid's finishing power, which led to the goals. The first one, Vinicius Jr., 40th minute.
That was just individual brilliance. Vinny Jr. just sort of dragged the ball forward, incredible control, and then unleashed this precise shot.
Lethal.
Totally. BN Sports called his performance a monster performance. You could see why. He was just electric.
And then he turned creator right before the break.
Yeah, just before halftime, 45+3. Really clever back heel assist. Set up Federico Valverde.
Who finished it calmly.
Yeah, just slotted it home. That really gave Madrid breathing room, huge momentum going into the second half.
And then Gonzalo Garcia sealed it late on, 84th minute, composed finish, game over.
Wrapped it up nicely.
But let's talk defense for a sec, because Madrid had a makeshift backline, didn't they? Tchouaméni at center back.
That's a really good point, and maybe one of the slightly surprising things. Tchouaméni partnered Dean Huysen for a lot of it, because Rudiger wasn't quite fully match fit yet.
How did they hold up?
Really well, actually. Huysen and Rudiger, when he did come on, both got a lot of praise. Composed defensive performances was the phrase used. It shows Madrid's depth, their adaptability.
Impressive under pressure. Okay, so thinking about the players beyond the goals who really drove Madrid's performance.
Well, Vinicius Jr., obviously. Just an inspired performance, as sources said. He was the focal point, pulling defenders everywhere.
Constant threat.
Absolutely. And Valverde, too. So much energy, really sharp play all over the pitch. And Garcia coming on and getting that third goal. That decisive impact was noted, too.
And on the Salzburg side, obviously a tough result, but those young players must have learned a lot. Any standouts?
Definitely. Oscar Glock, he was mentioned a lot, their standout young talent. He'd already scored earlier in the tournament, and you could see his quality even in this game,
Good experience for him.
for sure. And Dorgeles Nene, the forward from Mali, his work rate, his ambition really stood out.
Yeah.
Apparently, he even praised Rodrigo personally after the match.
Oh, interesting. Shows that respect, that learning process.
Exactly. Even in defeat, these are valuable moments for young players.
And the stats, they kind of backed up what we saw, didn't they? Madrid's control.
Oh, completely. The numbers showed supreme possession, controlling the territory, really effective transitions from defense to attack.
It's specific.
Yeah, Managing Madrid, one of the sources we looked at, they highlighted Madrid's better numbers pretty much across the board, passing accuracy, shots on target, and importantly, expected goals, the XG.
Right, the quality of chances.
Exactly. It wasn't just luck. The stats showed they created better chances. And their defense held up statistically, too. Despite the changes, defensive solidity was key.
So connecting this back to you, the listener, someone interested in global football,
Yeah.
what's the big takeaway from this specific match?
Well, look, it's more than just 3-0. It was Madrid making a statement, showing they're in control, key players hitting form even when not at full strength.
And for Salzburg.
A tough lesson, maybe, but invaluable experience, a real crash course for that young squad against elite opposition. It confirms Madrid are still, well, Madrid.
And the fans certainly felt that confirmation. We saw some comments from Reddit, Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah. What were they saying?
Things like, we don't play like Everton anymore. Nice to see. A bit cheeky.
Yeah. A bit harsh on Everton, maybe, but you get the point. Relief and satisfaction.
And another one, this kid is so fan nice. Expecting an easy dub, though. Captures that confidence, maybe a bit of swagger back?
Definitely shows that fan mood, right? How quickly it can turn positive when the team performs like that. It's part of the whole picture.
So looking forward then, what's next for Real Madrid after banking this win?
Okay, so they move on. They'll face Juventus next, who finished second in Group G. That match is July 1st, down in Miami.
Interesting draw. Avoids Man City for now.
Exactly. Quite a favorable path, potentially. And the big news is Kylian Mbappe is expected back from his illness.
That changes things.
Oh, massively. Adding him back into that attack, that seriously boosts their firepower heading towards the semifinals.
And what about Salzburg? Elimination's tough, but how do we frame their tournament?
Yeah, it's definitely not a failure. You've got to see it as a positive statement overall. Jonathan Soriano, who used to play for them, he praised their whole structure, their development pipeline.
The talent factory idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Their youth-first recruitment and just being competitive in this tournament reinforces their status as a top European incubator. And Nene's comment was interesting, too.
Don't mind us.
He said, in Spanish, something like, the team has improved significantly, although impressed by Real Madrid's squad. It shows they learned, they felt they grew, even while acknowledging Madrid's quality. Hints at their future potential.
That's a great way to put it. And this whole match, this tournament, really, it feels like it captures this shifting landscape in global football, doesn't it?
It really does. You've got these mega clubs playing against exciting developing teams in new places like the U.S., new formats, reaching new audiences.
And with a huge prize pool, like $1 billion or something.
Yeah, around that mark. The stakes are massive.
Yeah.
This game kind of sets the tone to established power versus ambitious youth. It's a dynamic we're going to see more and more.
So just to wrap it up, this Madrid-Salzburg game, it was more than the 3-0. It was like a snapshot, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. A generational snapshot. Madrid showing they're still the benchmark, their depth, their class. Salzburg showing their potential, their model works. Even if they lost this one, they belong on this stage.
Right. And this whole tournament, this specific match, it just underlines that fascinating clash, you know? Established giants against these hungry, rising talents.
Absolutely. And now we're heading into the knockout rounds. Teams presumably getting closer to full strength, the pressure ramps up. What happens next?
Yeah, what new tactics might we see? Or which players, maybe unexpected ones, are going to step up and have a breakout moment?
It's time to think about.
Definitely. And maybe think about how these games aren't just about the final score. It's about the lessons learned, the experience gained, and how it all shapes where football goes next.